I'd like to take a look at this first part of Agar's reply, where he says, philosophers learn that a slippery slope argument can be refuted by invoking a principle that clearly distinguishes the practices at the top of the slope from those at its bottom. And then he says there are many, very many differences between Hitler's eugenics and a program of genetic enhancement that might be acceptable to the citizens of a culturally diverse, early 21st century liberal democracy. And then he gives 3 examples. Okay, so let me just quickly note something about slippery slope arguments. I'd like to distinguish between several kinds of slippery slope again here. One type of slippery slope says something like this: if we accept A, then we're logically committed to accept B, and then C, and then all the way to Z, the bottom of the slippery slope. Another type, however, says something more like this: if we accept A, we are practically more likely to accept B, and then C, and then so on until you get to Z, the bottom of the slope. Now, these aren't the only 2 types, of course, but they do help shift a bit of the burden of proof back and forth between the defenders of a given slippery slope argument and the attackers of a given slippery slope argument. I don't think Black ever meant for his article to be read as a logical slippery slope argument. He's not saying that you are logically committed to gassing genetically unfortunate humans just because you think it's a good idea to have 2 dogs mate with each other for a puppy of a certain cuteness. Still, I think it's appropriate for Agar to point out that there are relevant differences between the different types of eugenics on offer. Relevant practical differences. Some relevant differences may indeed make the slope from good eugenics to bad eugenics less slippery. But some relevant differences may also make the slope from good eugenics to bad eugenics more slippery. What might I have in mind here? Am I a slippery slope fan or a fanatic? Well, let's just ask ourselves this simple question. Do the features of our modern liberal democratic societies automatically prevent us from repeating the types of mistakes made in earlier generations that had less liberal or less democratic societies? Surely the answer is no, not automatically. Maybe I loaded things a bit too much with the question. Do some of the features of our modern liberal democratic societies actually make it more likely that we will repeat those types of mistakes of earlier generations? I'll leave the guesswork on this one up to you.